Mortal Kombat, Legacy of Fire and Ice. Chapter 1, A Friendly Tournament. Scorpion, also known as Grandmaster Hasashi, stood before his students of the Shiryu, who were training in the Fire Garden's courtyard. They were all practicing their sword skills. Hasashi stood there watching with a small tiny grin hanging off his lips as he watched his hard-working students. Then a horn rang behind them. Hasashi turned around to see a group of blue-robed ninjas walking towards them. They were the Lin Kuei. They were led by their Grandmaster, Liang, also known as Sub-Zero. The two Grandmasters walked up to each other and bowed with their fists in their right palms. "Good afternoon, Hasashi," Liang greeted. "To you as well, and be thankful we are blessed with such good weather for our friendly little tournament," Hasashi replied. "Agreed," Liang said. Then Hasashi held up his right fist, and all the students stopped their sword practices. They sheathed their swords, and they all gathered up. "We must welcome our guests. Please lead the Lin Kuei to the dining area so we can all feast before this afternoon's tournament," Hasashi ordered. "And you lot please follow our hosts, and make sure you thank them," Liang called out to his Lin Kuei students. Then the students all left and headed deeper into the temple. All that remained was two young ninjas, one from the Lin Kuei and one from the Shiryu. One was dressed up all in blue, was Han Yi, a girl in her early 20s and Sub-Zero's daughter. The other one was all in yellow, and his name was Shao Tsung, who also was in his early 20s, and he was Scorpion's godson. "Are you ready?" Liang asked. "Yes, father," Han Yi replied. "I'm going to be," Shao Tsung sneered in a teasing way. "Dream on, Fireboy," Han Yi chuckled. "I'm glad you two have stuck yourselves head first in our friendly little ninja tournament," Hasashi told them. "Yes, Grandmaster, so are we," Shao Tsung said with a smile. Then the four of them headed into the dining hall and got something to eat. Riddle me this. What do you get when you get 3 Power Ranger fans who also write Power Ranger fanfictions and upload them on separate podcasts and YouTube channels, and you happen to put the 3 of them together and they form a unique Power Ranger storyline? Here's your answer. You get the 3 Ranger Bros, who is myself, Tai Tiger, the Red Corner Ranger, Mark, and the Cosplay Dude 637. We are the 3 Ranger Bros, and we came up with the idea called Power Rangers Global, a storyline where 4 different Rangers from different universes team up to save Universe 2118, a universe ruled by the gods. Now, if you want to hear Power Ranger Global, you can find it on Tiger Tales, the YouTube channel, and Nerds Through Comics, the podcast, and you can find that podcast anywhere that podcast can be listened to. So one more time, that's Power Rangers Global on Tiger Tales, the YouTube channel, and Nerds Through Comics, the podcast. The sun drifted the day into afternoon, and everyone grouped up in the gardens. Hasashi and Kiang stood before everybody. "Today we celebrate the kingship forged between our 2 clans, and we celebrate with a friendly tournament between our clans' newest additions to our ninja ranks," Hasashi called out. "Our first contender are Han Yi from the Lin Kuei and Shao Tsung from the Shiryu," Kiang yelled. The 2 younger ninjas walked out of the crowd and stood there before their masters. They both bowed before them. Their masters returned the bow. Then they bowed to each other. Then they turned around and took several steps away from each other, causing distance between them. Han Yi dropped into her fighting stance. She stood there in her classic sky blue ninja wear. Her mouth was covered. Her sleeves were short, and she wore wrist guards and gloves. Her eyes and her short spiky hair was the only thing that wasn't covered up. Shao Tsung dropped into his fighting stance. He stood in his yellow ninja wear, his mouth covered with a tight hood over his head. His sleeves were long and a sword placed on his waist. The 2 were fighting for years, so this was going to be interesting to the pair of them. Hasashi raised his hand and then swung it down, and the two ninjas ran at each other. They threw out their hands and exchanged blows. Their wrists and fists collided. Then Xiao Song threw out a fist, but Han Yi blocked it. Then she raised her hands and threw forward a blast of ice that came out of nowhere, which Xiao Song blocked by spinning around, summoning a twister of fire which wrapped around him. Then Xiao Song landed, he drew his sword and ran at Han Yi, and swung the blade at her. She raised her arms and made two axes out of ice, and blocked the sword strikes. She then kicked him in the chest. Xiao Song stumbled back. Han Yi then swung her axes at him, and one of them came flying at Xiao Song and sliced his arm. Xiao Song then flipped back and slammed his fist into the floor and disappeared in a twister of fire that sprouted around him. Then, behind Han Yi, another fire twister sprouted up, and Xiao Song appeared in midair with his sword raised. He then landed and swung the sword down. Han Yi rolled backwards and threw the other axe. Xiao Song raised his sword and deflected it. Then he summoned a bolt of fire and threw it at Han Yi, who aimed her hands up and blasted the firebolt with a blast of ice, freezing it solid. Both ninjas stood there at a standstill, both of their abilities to hold their own, keeping them from being defeated. But suddenly, a bolt of fire crash-landed in the garden, startling everyone. Then, a Cyber Ling Kuei stood there. "That is not possible!" Hasashi growled as he looked at Liang, who stood there with a face of rage. "Get the students out of here! I'll handle this," Liang barked. Then he ran at the Cyber Ling Kuei, who aimed his wrist and fired several green energy nets at Liang. He ran and rolled forward, dodging them. He then made a blade of ice and sliced through the third one. He ran at the Cyber Drone and kicked it in the chest, knocking it back. The Cyber Ling Kuei threw a punch, which Liang blocked. He then threw a kick, but the Cyber Ling Kuei raised his legs and blocked it with his knee. Then the Cyber Ling Kuei threw out its foot at Liang. He caught it and froze it solid, then smashed it with his elbow. The robot hopped on one foot. Liang dived out for the machine. He tackled it to the ground and froze the entire body of the Cyber Ling Kuei. He then raised both fists and smashed it down, breaking the machine into multiple pieces. He then did it over and over again, out of pure rage, repeatedly. Then he stood with a short breath and blooded hands. He then turned to Hasashi. "Before you get mad," Hasashi started, "save it. I'm going to check on the factory to see if it's been activated. If not, I must search for a new one," Liang barked. Then Han Yi and Xiao Song walked up to them. "We want to come with you. We will need backup," Xiao Song stated. "You cannot. I forbid it," Liang demanded. "Dad, enough of the Grand Master crap. You need a backup, and you know it. And God knows who started these guys again. No one here has passed the academy other than us. Come on. It's not like you're going to call Lord Liu Kang now, is it?" Han Yi yelled. Hasashi and Liang looked at each other. Liang sighed as Hasashi nodded at him. "Okay, fine. We leave in 5 minutes," Liang told them. Han Yi and Xiao Song both bolted into the academy, and within 5 minutes, they all met the Grandmasters at the entrance to the Fire Gardens. "Okay, Grandmaster. Here we are. We're ready," Han Yi said with a bow. "You do not call us that now," Liang told them. Both Han Yi and Xiao Song looked at each other rather confused. "You told me there's enough of this Grandmaster crap. Plus, no one outside this temple knows who we are as a family. So just in case, you never know what people might do with that information," Liang explained. "Okay, so what do we call you now?" Xiao Song asked. "You can call me Scorpion," Hasashi growled. "And I Sub-Zero," Liang said with a nod. Han Yi and Xiao Song grinned at each other. Then the four of them headed off for Han Yi's and Xiao Song's first adventure.